Hi knitters! Welcome to the Knitty McPurly podcast. I'm Devin Bentry. You can find me online at KnittyMcPurly.com and I'm Knitty McPurly over on Instagram. If you want to email me, I am Devin at KnittyMcPurly.com. Hello! How have you guys been? It's been 2 weeks. Oh my gosh, I'm like out of practice. Last week was my very first knitting retreat ever. It was amazing. It was so great. So today, I think I'm just mainly going to recap the retreat. I have a lot of things I want to show, like my table here is just overflowing with so many things. So I'm going to do my best, but I'm kind of abandoning my regular format just for this week. So that's what we're going to get. Yeah, my family missed me a lot and I came home and I had an amazing time. It was such a good time. And I was kind of tired. And you know how it is when mom is gone and then you have to come back and be mom. So it's been busy, but it's good. So anyway, many of you have asked me about my earrings. All of my earrings, almost all of them, are from Grace and Wood. It is a Christian husband and wife team who make earrings. They live in Texas. They have an adorable business called Grace and Wood. I think they're Grace and Wood Co. on Instagram if you want to give them a follow. And if you want some earrings, they gave me a discount code. So if you want them for 10% off, you can use the code KNITTY10. This particular design, I think it's called like Waterfall. These are my very favorite ones, but I have a bunch. If you watch my episodes, I'm usually wearing a pair of them. I just think they're so pretty. And these actually come in 3 different woods. This is like the middle one. There's like a light wood, a dark wood, and I think this one is the middle one. I think when I bought these, they only had this one. They're all really pretty though. Anyway, if you're in the market for some new earrings and you want to support a great shop, go get some. Okay, we'll go ahead and jump in. We'll call this progress in shop news. We'll see. Maybe I'll be able to work in my regular format. I don't know. Maybe. We'll try. Before I get to the retreat, because that's what I really want to talk about, I want to tell you guys all about that and show you all the stuff. It's going to be really fun. But before that, I wanted to say the lovely, amazing knitters at the retreat decimated my yarn shop. Thank you so much, ladies. I hope everyone loves their yarn and I hope you're all enjoying working on your sweaters. I've been seeing them on Instagram. They look so good. A bunch of people have cast on a faux set. It's awesome. I love, love, love it. Anyway, okay, if you're trying to pre-order yarn, you need to go to the color you want and go to the drop-down box. And if you scroll down and the amount you want and the base you want is not available, keep scrolling to the pre-orders and you will be able to pre-order what you want. I had a lot of pre-orders after the retreat because people wanted sweater quantities, so I've been working on those. That's been really fun. It's just been really fun. It's been a really fun week. It's been busy. It's a lot of stuff, but it's been awesome. Thank you for choosing my yarn. I saw so many amazing sweaters. The sweaters. You know, I have typically designed for life, like just regular life. Like for example, I am wearing the Go Lightly pattern. I get them confused. I'm wearing the Go Lightly sweater with my little overalls. And isn't this cute? I actually was not planning to wear this on the podcast today, but because I finished my gilded sweater and I wanted to wear that, but I wore this to mass this morning and I was just kind of tired and I was like, this is fine. I'm comfy. I'm going with it. Also, my husband is dragging me all over creation because we need a new mattress. Oh my gosh. Has anybody shopped for a mattress within the last 10 years? It's insane. Why are there so many choices? Anyway, different topic. Thank you for choosing my yarn. When I saw all of these sweaters, I realized, one of the things I realized, getting back to what I was just saying, is I tend to design for life, like kind of basic pieces that you would wear that kind of go with everything that you want to insert into your regular life. But one thing I realized from the retreat is people like to knit amazing colorwork sweaters to wear to things. And I just didn't really think about that because I don't go to a lot of things. You know, my youngest child is 8. And for a long time, I've been to a few things, but then COVID hit. I don't know. I haven't been to a lot of things. And so, you know, seeing everybody in their amazing sweaters, 2 things. I realized I both need to and want to design more colorwork sweaters because I love them. And I need to up my Andrea Mowry game because she's designed a lot of stuff since I last looked at her. I looked away and then I looked back and she's designed like 20 more sweaters. She's extremely prolific. She's, I imagine, very hardworking and also very talented. And you kind of get good at it as you go along. So the more sweaters you design, the easier it is to design sweaters, like everything else. I was so cold all morning, and now that I'm drinking coffee, I'm like ready to ignite. Okay. I'm just gonna go through it. I just wanna show you guys all of the stuff, and that's what we're gonna do. I'm drinking out of this super boring mug that's like got lipstick and stuff on it because people gave me mugs. It was so nice. Like, people didn't have to do that, but they did. And it was so nice. And I have not washed or used any of them because I wanted to show them to you. So I'm drinking out of this old boring mug right now. And it's making me really hot. Okay, so one of the things we had at the retreat was a give and take table where people could bring stuff that they didn't want, but was still good that somebody else might want, and just put it on the table. And it was awesome. People brought a lot of stuff, and by the end, there was not a lot of stuff left on the table. A lot of people got a lot of goodies. In addition to that table, I also had several people send me like prizes over the course of the past year. And so I put these into little bags, and on the first day, we did kind of a get to know you game with these little prizes. It was very low key as games go, because as an adult who doesn't really like to be told what to do, I don't like to tell people what to do. I don't want to tell them how to get to know other people. And so it was kind of low key as a game, but just, you know, grab one and decide if you want to keep it or trade off with somebody and start up a conversation with somebody you don't know. And I think it was fun. And people got a lot of really fun yarn. So that was really great. On the give and take table, one thing that I found that I took was this amazing ball of roving. Looks to me like we've got 2 natural colors here, a white and a brown, that are kind of rolled together. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this, but you guys know how I feel about the whole spinning and weaving and art yarn and whatnot. So I have this now. I don't know what I'll do with it. Maybe something. Maybe I'll weave it into something. I don't know. I have no tools at the moment. I don't know. Okay, so there was that. I'm just gonna start at one end of the table and go to the other end, and we'll just talk, okay? You have your knitting, we have our coffee, we're just gonna talk. In addition to that, we also had a lot of amazing vendors at the retreat. We had people who made bags and people who dyed yarn and just all manner of cool knitterly things. And I picked up this beautiful sock set from Holly over at Mystery Mouse. This is called Red Wall, and I just think it is so beautiful. Sometimes you walk up to a table of yarn and you just know exactly what you want. So I walked over and picked this out immediately. And then right next to her was Susan at Delightful Works. And she had, and the reason I went looking for these bags is because someone came to my little vending area and had one. And it's like a bucket, but with handles. And I was like, okay, and hers had mushrooms on it. It was adorable. So I was like, okay, I need to go find one of those. And I found this beautiful one with hearts right next to this. Look how cute that looks together. Why do we love a bag yarn combo? I don't know why we do, but we do. So in addition to that, Carista from Sweet Mountain Crafts was there, and I bought this set from her, which is currently in my little bucket bag. Now this is a sock set. So there was 100 grams of this gorgeous color and then 20 grams of this, but it's DK weight. And I have that in this bag too, which also goes. It's so cute, right? So I do a lot of designing. I don't do a lot of just plain knitting, but sometimes I just want to knit a sock. And so that's what I did. I just cast on a little DK sock. So this is funny. You guys will like this. This is just a 2x2 rib. And then I did a slip stitch heel. Oh, I was going to put this on a sock blocker and show you, but I did not. Maybe next week. So here's what happened with this. Oh man. So I just wasn't thinking about, I'm thinking to myself, this is a DK weight sock, so I'm gonna knit it on size 3s, size 3 DPNs, but I wasn't thinking, for whatever reason, just wasn't thinking about how many stitches to cast on. So guess how many stitches you think I cast on originally? Did you guess 64? Yeah, that's what I did. I cast on 64 stitches. If you're a sock knitter, then you know that when you're knitting a fingering weight sock, which is a much thinner yarn, and you're using smaller needles, a very common cast on, the one that I typically use, is a 64 stitch cast on. But when you're using big fat DK yarn and size 3 needles, if you cast on 64 stitches, it's gonna be too big. So I actually knit the whole cuff and the heel flap when I realized that that was wrong. And I thought, I can't show this on the podcast like this, because even if I say, oh, I'm gonna rip this out, you wouldn't believe me. You'd be like, no, you're not. You're not gonna rip that out, Devin. We know how you are. So I was like, okay, before the podcast, I gotta rip this out. And so I did. Thank you very much. Despite your skepticism, which you probably have, I ripped it out and I cast on a much more normal amount of stitches. I cast on 52 stitches. I did not swatch, but I used the Retro 90s socks, which is a free DK sock pattern over on my website. If you like free DK weight sock patterns, you can go get that. Now that is not a 2x2 rib, that is a stockinette sock, but I wanted this to have a little bit more fittedness than that sock does. So I use, what I think, I actually don't remember, I'm pretty sure the 52 stitches is the middle size, because that sock comes in 3 sizes. But I really like it. Isn't it so pretty? Karista is really amazing, and I'm gonna talk about her some more because she is, like, I just love this. Look at how there's so many colors and they're so beautiful. Can I get it to focus on that? They're just so pretty. But she's over at Sweet Mountain Crafts and she's Sweet Mountain Yarn, and she owns a yarn store in Wyoming called like Wyoming Yarn or something. And that was super interesting to hear her talk about that, because out in Wyoming, she's like, if somebody wants yarn of any kind, there's no place within like 3 hours. There's no Hobby Lobby, there's no Michael's, there's no nothing. Between her and the next yarn store, it's like 3 hours of any kind, not just like fancy yarn store, but of any kind, which is super awesome. That's a great position to be in. You know, you've got people like me who want a yarn store because Manassas doesn't have a yarn store, but you know, we have everything else. Like it's a much tougher market out here in the East. But also she is an amazing dyer, and I was just so impressed with that. But I wanted to show you, look, I cast something on and I'm like almost done with it. So that's exciting. Hopefully next week I will have some socks to show you. Is there anything else in there I wanted to show you? I got all kinds of stuff in here. Oh, I have another earring from Grayson Wood. Isn't that cute? This is just an aside because it's not an earring podcast, it's a knitting podcast. But look how those are like sisters, but they don't match because they're handmade. I love it. Anyway, Knitty 10 for 10% off. Okay. Kind of proud of that. That's super fun. Okay, I showed that. Okay, another dyer who was there vending is Paige Vest of Zioli Yarns. She's Italian, and Zioli, I think it was either her grandma or her great-grandma, must be like maternal grandma, maybe. That was her last name, like off the boat from Italy. And isn't her card beautiful? But her website is Zeoli Yarns, Z-E-O-L-I Yarns. I'll link it below. And the thing I loved about her yarn is that she dyes a lot of cotton and cotton wool blends and cotton linen blends. And so I got this skein from her that is a cotton linen blend. And this is her Anita base. I think all of the bases are named after her relatives. She told me this, but it's a lot of information. When you're meeting 87 people for the first time and you have to remember their name, their face, their Instagram name, and everything about them, it kind of jumbles up in your head. So when I got home, I tried to like sort it all out because these are my 87 new best friends. I love you guys. Like, it was epic. Okay, anyway. This Anita base is 75% USA cotton, 25% French linen. And this was really interesting. I've never worked with this combination before. She had 100% cotton, which I typically don't like to work with because it hurts my hands. Like, it's just, there's no give in cotton. And she showed me, she had a sweater knit in cotton and a sweater knit in the cotton linen. And this had a much different feel. It was much softer. 100% cotton can get kind of crunchy after a while. And she said that with the linen in it, it's a little easier on your hands. This color is called Catch a Wave, but it's just so pretty. Can you hear that? You can't hear that, right? You can't make this stuff up, folks. You just can't. Okay, so if you're interested in cotton or cotton blends, go check out Paige. She's lovely. Her husband was there. He was awesome. He like hung out with us. They're from nearby, from Tennessee. It wasn't too far of a drive for them to get there. But she had some amazing yarn and was an overall amazing person. And some people just brought me gifts. Look at this adorable mug. It says, "A question asked while I am counting stitches will be answered with louder counting." Everyone knows that. Like, that just goes without saying, right? This cute mug, it's red on the inside, from Lenny Mudd. And the lovely knitter who gave me this got it at a store in Waynesville, I think, right by Lake Junaluska. And it wasn't even a knitting store. It just had this adorable mug. So cute. I wish I could say that my house is normally like nice and quiet, but it's not, no. So do you guys remember Deb and Julie? Hi, Deb and Julie. Hi, guys. So they own a jewelry store. Am I allowed to say this stuff? Is this allowed? I don't know. Tell me, guys, if you don't want me to talk about this. I'm gonna talk about it right now, but I won't talk about it anymore if you don't want me to talk about it. So Sather's Leading Jewelers, if you live in Colorado and you want to go to a probably awesome jewelry store, that's their jewelry store. It's like a family business since 1910. But they gave me, where did I put it? Oh, I must have put it in my jewelry box. They gave me this beautiful bracelet with a cross on it. It's so like delicate and gorgeous. My family was like, they trusted you with that? I was like, I am going to live up to that trust. Like, I am going to take care of this thing so carefully because it's so beautiful. Hold on, I'll just grab it, hold on. Oh, here we are. I think it's under this pile. See, it's true. It's here somewhere, I'll unearth it. And Cheryl B made me this soap. There were two Cheryl B's. They roomed together and they both have husbands named Bob. Like, how are we supposed to tell them apart? I don't know. But she made me this soap with this little cute soap tray. It smells so good. It's like minty. But you know, makers appreciate made stuff. And look, it's like rough cut, like it's so authentic. It's just beautiful, isn't it? I love that. I love made stuff. Of course, it has wool stuck to it. Thank you, Cheryl. Okay, we're getting there. Oh, This is from Chicken Lady Fiber Arts, Lynn. And this color, I believe, is called Lake Junaluska. And she dyed this up for the attendees. And this was in the swag bags. I almost showed this last week and I was like, no, or the week before. I was like, no, it's a secret. But it's so pretty, isn't it? It's got all the lakey colors in there. So, so pretty. Thanks, Lynn, for doing that. Everyone loved it. They loved it. Okay. Probably could have organized this a little bit better, but we're just going with it. Also, all of the attendees made me this. Isn't this beautiful? They all signed it. I need to frame it. We also got an amazing picture that you might have seen on Instagram, but it was so good. And and I'm not good at like organizing a big group of people, but one awesome lady named Wendy was like, okay, everybody, people in the back, stand on chairs. Then we line standing on the floor, then a line of people sitting, then a line of people on the floor. And it was like, everyone just did it and it looked amazing. So I feel like I need some sort of this thing framed and group picture combination. It says, thank you, Devin, for bringing us together. And Heather Beasley, she's the John Hancock, but she's got the beautiful handwriting too. So awesome. I love it. It was so good, you guys. It was so good. Okay. Where's the bracelet? You guys, I know it's here. Okay. The other Cheryl B gave me this cup. It says, remember to hydrate for knit night. And of course it is beautiful and has this cool straw. So my daughters tried to steal it, but it says knitting on it. So I feel like you can't have it. It's just not gonna happen. But thank you, Cheryl, so cute. What else? Oh, Cheryl also gave me these beautiful stitch marker progress keepers. They're in this little like screw top thing, and they're the kind that you can attach, just little jewelly ones. There's all colors, so pretty. Thank you, Cheryl. All right. Oh, Cheryl of Wise Owl Knits also taught a brioche class, and that was great. The only thing that was hard about that, and it was the same with the intarsia class. We had a brioche class and an intarsia class, and those were both very kind of hands-on classes, and it was my fault. I organized them in too big a room with too big a group. And so some people who felt like they needed help, and Cheryl was trying to help people, and it was hard for everyone who needed help to get together. And then there were people like me who were just kind of hanging out in there doing whatever. And I think in future retreats, for classes like that are more hands-on, I'm going to organize them differently in a smaller room with only the people who really want to learn that skill in the room, so that the instructor can work with smaller groups. So that's something that I learned. Now, there were other classes like my class on designing your own sweater and Holly Armstrong's class on adapting patterns. They were more conceptual and were better suited to large groups of people who could kind of work on whatever they want and take in what they want and sort out what they weren't interested in. So that was eye-opening to me. I didn't really think about that there were two kinds of classes. There's a hands-on type and a more conceptual type, and you need to organize those differently. People were so nice, and they were so nice. Everyone was smiling all the time. Every time I saw people, they were smiling and having a good time. And I was worried that they weren't going to give me any constructive criticism because they were so nice. But I did get a little bit of it, which was nice because it was amazing and great, but there's always something you can do better. So I'll talk about that too. This is another bag that I got. This is like a sweater-sized bag. This is from Made by Ray. Is that what she calls it? No, long leaf bags. Made by Ray is maybe her email address, but her name is Ray. And look at that bottom on that thing. Like, I think I can fit a whole sweater in there. And this fabric is like an Alice in Wonderland kind of psychedelic teacup thing. And it's got a drawstring and a handle. Ray was lovely. She and I got to talk a lot, and her husband was there too. And he helped her set up and take down her booth. And I think I'm going to be working with some of these ladies in the future. I'm excited about that. But I think I love about this bag is, in addition to its beautifulness and its craftsmanship, is that it is big enough to hold a sweater. I find that I don't have enough bags that I can put sweaters in, and I knit a lot of sweaters. So there's that. Now, she is on Etsy. Longleaf Bags is on Etsy if you're interested in finding her. I don't know if she's on Instagram or not. But anyway, I will look these things up and link them below if you are interested in supporting some like-minded, awesome ladies who are great at their craft. Another awesome bag that I got at the retreat. This one was bought for me by Dora. Dora, do you guys remember Dora? She had a wonderful knitting story months ago, but she volunteered to help me. She came a day early and helped me shop and get all of the groceries and help me set up. She and her husband sing, and they go and sing publicly. So she had an awesome microphone setup that she let us use. She was wonderful. Thank you so much, Dora. She was so, so amazing, you guys. And her friend made these bags, and she gave me this one with the lemons on it, and it's got stuff in it. This was the bag I used over the weekend that I was working on my sweater that I showed in the last podcast with the awesome fix. If you missed that, go back and watch it because it was epic. But these are the colors that I was using. So it's got my hand balm in there and some needles and just some other random awesome stuff. Oh, these earrings, I was looking for these. These were given to me. See, they have roosters on them. They are by Holly and Liz. These earrings were given to me by Ann Pinkova. Thanks, Ann. Ann brought her parents, who were so delightful. She was delightful. Her parents were delightful. They were just hilarious. Her mom and dad were awesome. Her dad actually took the group picture for us so that we could all be in it. And he was so funny because my phone is an Apple and his phone, I think, was a Samsung. And he was like, okay, I'm going to take a picture with both of these phones, these cameras, and we're going to zoom in. I'm going to show you which camera is better. And he was like, look, the Samsung has a better camera. And I was like, wow, it really does. So the picture that I posted and the one that I used was the Samsung one. Thanks, Mr. Pinkova. It was awesome. But Anne also brought me these cool rooster earrings, which would actually kind of go with this outfit right now. I should have worn these, but I didn't know where they were. This is how I am, you guys. This is how I roll. Because they were in my knitting bag. What else is in here? I've got this thing. That's cute, right? Little needle sizer. I got a bunch of Knitty McPurly hand balm. Anyway, it was so much fun. It was just so much fun, you guys. Just the most amazing group of kind, joyful knitters. I said that to them. I'm like, that's what the retreat should have been called. The Kind and Joyful Knitting Retreat. Because that's what it was. Nobody got angry. Nobody was grumpy. Nobody complained. People just smiled and knit and met new people and had a good time. And it was great. Tara from Arkansas brought me an Arkansas mug and an Arkansas Progress Keeper. This is more Arkansas stuff than I have ever had in my life. This is from Arkansas Yarn Co., the Progress Keeper, which is pink and sparkly. I mean, what? It's so fabulous. And Anne and her mom and dad brought me a mug from South Dakota. So you know what this means, right? That I need to now collect mugs from all 50 states because I now have Arkansas and South Dakota. I don't even have Virginia where I live or Ohio where I'm from, but I need those now. because this is from Dakota Stoneware in Bushnell, South Dakota. And this is from Humbled Hands Pottery. Aren't they so cute? I just can't wait to drink out of them. They're just so awesome. And Anne also brought me this clover honey from South Dakota. These are all places I've never been. You can tell how much I love traveling by how all my yarn is named after European cities that I haven't been to, but I would love to go there. Next retreat, Frankfurt. No, too far. It'd be awesome though. We'd have Isabel Kramer, of course, obviously. We had somebody who was local to the area. So we had a retreat attendee named Yolanda. Hi, Yolanda. And she knew a local alpaca farm owner who also has yarn. And so she came up to me, I think it was Thursday night, and said, can she sell her yarn here? I was like, sure, why not? We've got space. So she and her husband sold some like raw alpaca yarn. This is Sug Plantation and Alpaca Farm. And it's sugplantation.com. Let's see, this is a 3-ply. It tells how it's spun. Alpaca skein Norman. I don't know if Norman is the type of alpaca or maybe Norman is the name of this particular alpaca. What's this one say? This one says Liberty Bell, another obscure thing. Again, could be the type of alpaca. It's very heavy. This is why people say that alpaca sweaters will grow too much, because alpaca is extremely heavy. So this would be good for something that either you want a lot of drape or that just is a smaller object. But this is like the actual color of the alpaca, and it has like a lanolin-y feel. It's awesome. So this looks like, it says spinning 1000 YPP. I don't know what that means. 3-ply. It doesn't say what the weight of the yarn is, but it looks like a fingering weight yarn. But it's just so cool, isn't it? So she came and she sold her wares. And also Yolanda has a business where she puts logos on stuff. So she made me this little carabiner keychain with the Lake Junaluska logo on one side, and it says Lake Junaluska, North Carolina, 2023 on the other side. And it's like a tape measure. Like it's like a legit, like awesome tape measure. Thank you, Yolanda. That was so nice. I feel like there was something else in here. Oh, it's a progress keeper that has Lake Junaluska on it. Isn't that cool? People were so generous and kind to me. Whoop! Hold on. Technical difficulties. I don't know why you guys even watch this podcast. It's kind of a disaster. Okay. What else do I want to show? I need to talk about Carista's class. Also Tara from Arkansas brought me some Mystic Monk coffee, and I got Bindle coffee from Deb and Julie. You guys know, mugs and coffee, like all day long. Yes, please. Okay, so on Saturday, a lot of people took a trip over to the Black Mountain Yarn Shop in Black Mountain, North Carolina, which is about 45 minutes away from Lake Junaluska. This is a super awesome, trendy yarn store. The ladies who run it are so nice, Danny and her crew. I did not go. I had other things that I had to get done, but there were a lot of people who went over there and had a really good time. They were very kind and they really enjoyed it. However, we did have a yarn store come to us, and that was Friends and Fiberworks Yarn. And this is run by Lisa and her husband, Lisa and Robert Mackey, friendsandfiberworks.com in Candler, North Carolina. Now, I think that their yarn store is just in like a big building on their property. So it's really large, it's like a barn, and it just has a lot of yarn in it. And they were so kind to come out and bring their like mobile yarn store. So they have like a big truck with a trailer on the back, And then her husband built these awesome rolling displays. So they just roll the displays off the truck and then roll them back on. And I say that like it was super easy, but it still took them a couple hours to set up and a couple hours to take down. And it was so nice of them to come out. So what I got from them is some Malabrigo Lotus, because I was thinking about weaving after Carista's class, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. I apologize for not being that organized. This is just kind of how it has gone today. But the retreat was epic. Is everyone understanding just that it was epic? It was amazing. So I was with an eye toward possibly doing some weaving. I got this. This is Malabrigo Diana, which is like a roving Malabrigo cloud. It says you can machine wash it, but it looks like roving to me. And I got 2 of those. These called out to me. And also from their shop, I got this yarn, which I wouldn't really even take a second look at under normal circumstances, but it's a sparkle yarn. So it's like a really thin with like sparkles every now and then. And someone else pointed it out to me. I think it was Kelly Pittner, who's Woolly Waves over on Instagram. I think it was Kelly. Kelly was there anyway. And she was like, wouldn't that be great to incorporate that into a weaving? So let me talk about the weaving. Carista taught this weaving class. All the classes were amazing. They were just so, so great. The instructors did such a good job, all on a volunteer basis, and they just did fabulous. Cheryl taught the brioche class, Ann Pankova taught Intarsia, and Holly and I taught those conceptual classes that I already talked about. And then Carista was going to teach a weaving class. Now, when you tell a group of knitters that we're going to have a weaving class, you get a mixed reaction. They're kind of like, there are some who are like, I have no interest in that. And then there are others who are like, maybe I'm kind of interested. And then you have people like me who are like, what? Weaving? Oh my gosh. And we really didn't know what it was going to be. So Carista asked me for a stipend to purchase supplies for this class. And so she had a stipend to do that. So I expected her to bring, you know, like some supplies. But what she brought was, let me just show you. This is a kit. Oh, this is mine. This is the one that I worked on. I have one that is unopened. Let me show you the unopened one. So she brought, we were planning on doing these circular weavings. So she brought a hoop, metal hoop like this, and some roving, okay? And then there were some other types of yarn in there, like a thicker single ply like that. And she had all these colors matched up, and then a yarn like that that's just got a different texture. And then another textury yarn like that, like just all this cool stuff to incorporate in. This cotton cord is for creating the warps, I think, around the circle. And then there was like ribbon to add in some different texture, and all these colors go together. And then pieces of silk. This one's got a string, hold on. Pieces of silk that she dyed herself to go. You can see how all these things kind of go. Oh my gosh. Okay, but then there was this art yarn, which is like the core spun, where you have a core and then you have another yarn that you spun and you twist it around. I mean, amazing. Look at that. Do you guys remember when I talked about Made Weave Love? This is the kind of yarn that she makes. Carista not only dyed it all herself, but she spun it. I mean, I was like, wow. And she showed me, because there were 90 of us, she showed me just all of them together, all 90 of them that she put together. And it was just amazing. So if you're not familiar with Carista, she is Sweet Mountain Yarn, also known as Sweet Mountain Crafts. And she has a podcast which is probably called Sweet Mountain Crafts. But she is amazingly talented and very prolific. She gets a lot done, which I really respect. I like getting a lot done too. And yeah, so these kits were amazing. Let me show you. So anyway, people were kind of like, I don't know, we'll see. And my class was right before hers. And I was like, guys, you know, if you're thinking I'm not really interested in weaving, you need to stick around for 2 reasons. 1, because you paid for these amazing supplies. And 2, they are amazing. Like, it's beyond amazing. So everyone, not everyone, but almost everyone stuck around for the class. And they were like, this thing that I wasn't even sure if I was interested in ended up being my favorite thing I did all weekend. So I started mine, and I'm gonna put up a couple pictures here of ones that I took pictures of. And some of these, I don't even think that the people who made them knew I took the picture. So I won't include the names, but it's so cool how people did different things. Some people did a picture, some people just wove it around. The thing about knitters and makers in general is you have 2 basic types. You have the kind who want a pattern and they want to be told exactly what to do, and they want to do it and end up with this beautiful thing that they knew going in what it was going to look like, and that's it in the end. And then you have kind of the more artist-minded free spirit types who want to do whatever they want, and they just want to wing it, and they just want to throw something up and see what happens. I'm more of the second type, in case you hadn't noticed. But anyway, this is as far as I got. I didn't get that far. I just was kind of playing around. I wasn't really, I don't know. This is as far as I got. But I kind of had like a little geometric shape going with this color, and I just was kind of going for it. And this yarn is just, look at it. I mean, look at it. And even when it unravels a little bit, it still looks amazing, if not better. And Carista was very like, go for it. Just try it out. Just, if it unravels, that's okay. Don't worry about it. So, you know, when you cut it, you get a little bit of unraveling at the end. And I tied mine because I love it so much. I wanted it to stay wrapped up like it was. But even in the untwisting a little bit, like it just gets better and better. It was so good. It was all so good. I'm sure that I have forgotten to say things, and I can't fully sum up just how amazing it was because of the people. I got put in touch with another lady who does knitting retreats, and I was looking at her retreats and they looked great, but I thought, I don't know who's gonna come to this. Like, if I went to a different knitting retreat, what kind of person are you gonna get? Are you gonna get kind and joyful people? Because that's the kind of people that I wanna hang out with. And that's exactly who I hung out with all last weekend. It was so amazing. Like, I was nervous and I was anxious because I wanted it to go well. I didn't need to be anxious because it was so great. And so I didn't sleep great. Like, I was away from home and I came back and I was like, you know, tired for that reason, but none of that was needed. I could have gone in with no anxiety and it would have been just the same. So it was amazing. If you go visit my website and it looks like I haven't updated it, it's because I haven't. I will get there. I am working on getting the pre-orders shipped out right now that all the wonderful people ordered at the retreat. If you're interested in a pre-order, get them in now. I'm working on them now. Also, I have new hand balm, which is not quite yet up on the website, but it will be. It's called Bleak Midwinter. And as you can kind of tell by the picture, it's a midwinter scent. It's gingery, it's clovey, it's cinnamony. It's, my favorite tea is the Celestial Seasonings Bengal Spice, and that's what it smells like. It's just a really winter, warm, gingery, clovey, cinnamony smell. Whew. You guys, thank you for bearing with me. Wasn't my most organized episode, but I'm just so overwhelmed by how amazing it was. Another thing is that, like I said at the beginning, I came home wanting to design more colorwork sweaters, and people put together so many colors of my yarn that I just didn't think to put together. One combination that I loved, and these are just some random bases that I grabbed, but I've got Black Forest Cake with Fontaine, with my new color, Bosque. Just wait. With Morel and Trinket. What? So this color combination really spoke to me, and I may or may not have designed a new sweater since I came home. I designed it in Procreate, and then I worked out the charts. Haven't actually started knitting, but I've never worked a 5-color sweater before. And these colors are so, so amazing. So a lot of people gravitated toward my neutrals. Black Forest Cake, Bosque, Morel, and Bougie, which I did not bring up, but those 4 were my most popular colors because they're the most neutral. And a lot of people liked to sprinkle in some brighter, bolder colors. And then you have people who are like, just bring on the bright and bold, and that's all I want. You know who you are, Amy, Tara, like just bright, bold people who love those bright colors. But I don't remember, I feel like this, I don't know whether I came up with this on my own or whether someone picked it out. And I just can't remember where the idea came from, but I just love them together. So that's coming. Oh, I also wanted to show you this kit I got from Carista. It's beautiful. I'm going to open it up because you can't really see it in the plastic. But it's more art yarn. Look at that. I mean, what? So art yarn is so beautiful, and I think it looks so great in a weaving project. That's the end right there. I don't think you could knit with it, or you wouldn't really want to. And then here we have like a really fluffy purple. So that was why, this kit right here that I'm about to show you is why I picked all of that purple from Friends and Fiberworks. Oh gosh, it's so pretty. I'm making kind of a mess of it as I pull it out. But look at these colors together. Aren't they great? She's great at color. And then the hand-dyed silk. And then this fluffy beautifulness. Like, look at all that together. So that kit is what kind of gravitated me toward these things here. Aren't those just cool? I don't know what I'm gonna do with them. And this, I don't know what I'm gonna do with them. Maybe I'll make something for my wall. I love having yarn on the wall and everywhere, in case you haven't noticed. This has gone on for a while. I apologize. I want to thank all of you who came. Thank you so much. I follow a lot of you on Instagram now. I feel like I got to talk to everybody at least a little bit. Some people more than others, because some people were just kind of more available than other people. There's that quiet type of person who just wants to kind of, you know, hang back. And I love talking to that kind of person. So some of you I sought out. Some of you eluded me carefully. But it was amazing, and we'll definitely do it again. So thank you for watching this podcast. I will be back next week with my regular format. And yeah, okay. Have a great weekend, knitters. Love you guys. Bye. Okay, I totally found the bracelet. Isn't it so pretty? It's got a little cross on it. Thank you so much, Julie and Deb. It's so beautiful. I found it. It had slipped off of my table and onto the floor, which I'm totally blaming my kids for, because we all know they did it, and they're not here to defend themselves. Oh, also, another thing I wanted to show you guys. I designed this little logo for the retreat, which was kind of a surprise. but it is Lake Junaluska, and it's got, hold on, it's got garter stitch here and knit stitches here, and the sun and the cloud is yarn. So I did this as a patch for our swag bags. This is a sticker, and there was also a coaster.